Hey, what's up you guys? It's Simon. Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I decided to challenge myself yet again to make art in programs that are particularly difficult to make art in. So first off, I want to apologize for the aspect ratio of this video. I used the screen recording function of my iPad, so I didn't really know how to change the I guess video size. Maybe I could have done like landscape mode, I don't know. I haven't quite worked out how to change the aspect ratio when it comes to recording on it, but I will figure it out because I do love this function. It makes it really easy for me to get videos out faster because I can just record whatever it is that I'm doing for you guys. So anyway, as you can probably tell from the drawing that I'm using the Notes app on my iPad. So if you don't know, I think on most Apple products, I don't know if the ones on phones are like more limited, but at least on the iPad Pro, you have your Notes app and then it has all of these different markers, surprisingly. So I was like, oh, wait a minute, because I noticed just like in MS Paint, some of these have an opacity function that I did not use because it's very bad. Basically, I just started thinking, I was like, okay, if I could make art in MS Paint, could I make art with the Notes app? And the answer is sort of like a yes and no. If you're more of like a graphic artist, you don't do too many like shading, just mostly like flat color, like vectorish sort of thing, then you definitely can. Although, I'll get to some things that are a little bit annoying about this art program, quote unquote, in a minute. It's definitely possible. As you can see, I did make something. It's just a little bit frustrating to use. Like I said, I mentioned if you did more vectory stuff, which I kind of tried to do, but with like some a little bit of shading here and there. The reason that I prefer Paint, and yes, I do prefer Paint over this, despite the fact that obviously since I have like the Apple Pencil and stuff, I'm a little bit more controlled than I would be with like that flat tablet that I normally use. So despite having the pencil and everything, it's still more frustrating because there are some things that that MS Paint has that the Notes app doesn't have. For example, as a digital artist, I heavily rely on the lasso tool, like especially I so deeply wish I had it for the arm because it's not positioned right. I wanted to move it so bad, but then when I tried to, it like you can see there's a lasso tool down there. I don't know what it does, but it certainly doesn't move things. But it definitely did something real weird, and so I was like, okay, not gonna attempt to use the lasso tool again. That was really freaky. I don't know how, but I had a really hard time trying to move that arm, so I gave up on that. And then there's also something that frustrated me deeply because as someone who is used to using Procreate, you can't zoom in on the Notes app. It's literally impossible. So if you mess up a tiny detail, or if you can't tell you drew in a certain area or not, you cannot zoom. And so that's really annoying. The eraser tool sucks. You cannot erase one tiny stroke. You have to go in with the color that you use to color whatever area and recolor over it, because if you use the eraser tool, it will just erase every stroke that you did in that one thing instead of the one teensy little area that you wanted to erase. So that was very frustrating. Oh, there's the part. I don't know what that's for. I don't know how. I have no idea how that was supposed to move the arm. It certainly did not, and I wasn't about to figure out how. Anyways, so you can't zoom in, obviously, like you saw. You can't use the lasso tool, so that's definitely very frustrating. So if you're gonna be doing something that's like really detailed, really intricate, the Notes app, shockingly, is not gonna be your best bet. It is possible, as you guys can see, although the drawing is a little scary and maybe not my best work, you can definitely tell that you are able to doodle a little bit, at least make something out of this app. So if you really are super broke and you can't afford, if you can somehow afford an iPhone or an iPad, but you cannot afford an art program like me, you can attempt to use it. Oh, another thing that frustrates me about the Notes app, Unlike MS Paint shockingly enough has a decent color selection. It has sliders and everything, so you can get pretty much every color in the rainbow. But Procreate just has a couple gradients. I don't really know, and they're not even like normal. Like there's not, as you can see anywhere, a straight up green color. There's a lime green, and there are a bunch of like military-ish greens, but there is no true green. Not even the like, primary green at the bottom is really a true green. It's more along the pastel-y side, so that's really frustrating. Obviously you can't mix colors, you can't blend them. I ended up using, I think, the like, I don't want to call it a fine liner, but I guess it would be a fine liner brush for literally the entire drawing. I don't think I used the marker or the pencil or anything. I only used that one tool. You can mess with the opacity a little bit. I tried to blend on the eyes. I don't know if you guys could tell, but there was a portion where I tried to use the opacity like slider that's on the pens in order to make something a little bit lighter, but I really struggled with that, so probably didn't come out the best. Also, another thing is that the pen pressure is so inconsistent. Like at 1 minute, like the same amount of pressure, literally you can go really hard and it won't, like the brush won't get that much bigger, but then same brush, same amount of pressure, push down really hard and it's like, oh, there. Like the first minute I found out there was pen pressure, it looked amazing. I was like, this is really thick, and now it's really thin. Wow. And then anytime I try to emulate that in the program, I was like, why doesn't it have pressure anymore? So that was really annoying. Overall, would I recommend using the Notes app to create art? No, I would not. In fact, there are some other free apps that you can use. For example, I've talked about Ibis Paint X before. I am obsessed with them. No, I am not sponsored, but I love them very much. And like I said, it's free and it's a mobile app. I would highly recommend using that versus using the Notes app. I just wanted to see if it was possible for me to create something, and no, it was not the best, and it's probably the worst drawing of Deku I have ever made in my entire life, but it's still something. I still can say that I made something with the Notes app. So, with that, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to share and let people know that I normally draw better than this. Leave a comment, like this video if you liked it, obviously, and don't forget, if you want to help support me and me making these videos, you can go to my Patreon at patreon.com/SimonAESArts. I recently made some changes to my tiers, so if you want a shout out at the end of these Saturday videos, all you have to do is donate a baby little $1 to help me. So I want to give a big shout out to my patron, Elise Thompson. Thank you so much for continuing to support me, and I will see you guys next Saturday. Bye.